Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Carmela and Mr. Mackenzie. We're happy to see you all here. As mentioned nga po, this is kind of the culminating activity po of PCIJ. This is, in a way, our first face-to-face event, so we're very excited to have you all here. Ayan. So, for the project overview, bigyan ko po kayo ng, yun nga po, kung saan, ano po yung konteksto, kung saan nanggagaling ang PCIJ, why we pursued this person reporting project. So, of course, I'll start us off with, nabanggit na po ito kanina ni Carmela, with two quotes, of course, from Nelson Mandela. And then, nabanggit rin po ni then Commissioner and former Chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights, when you are detained in the Philippines, you are tortured. So for years, the Philippines has been confronting not just a human rights crisis, but also a humanitarian crisis that reels in its most stark and tragic face at overcrowded and poorly served detention centers and jails. It was already a crisis, and the crisis got worse when the administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte had relentlessly pursued a virulent war on illegal drugs, when police rounded up tens of thousands in a parallel campaign to enforce city ordinances and the directive to rid the streets of those smoking, drinking, or even just walking shirtless. And also when law enforcers penalized quarantine violators in an attempt to curb the spread of COVID-19. The reality of jails already teeming with those who had been arbitrarily arrested and detained even prior to the war on drugs and COVID-19 cannot be denied. It is unimaginable how waging these wars had exacerbated and magnified jail conditions, clogging of case dockets, and delays in legal proceedings. The pictures, as well as the numbers, tell the same story. If the capacity of our jails is supposed to be only at around 25,000 persons deprived of liberty, we reach as high as 4 times more of the acceptable size. Of course, as mentioned earlier, while some developments are being done in the past few years to ease the jail population or jail overcrowding, we are of course still far from the ideal scenario. So for 2 years now, PCIJ, with the support from the American Bar Association's Rule of Law Initiative, has an ongoing project called the Prison Reporting Project, which aims to promote awareness and observance of access to justice and rule of law on the state of jails and detention centers in the country. At the center of this project is PCIJ's reporting. The project involves PCIJ fellows covering access to justice concerns at jails and detention centers from the demand side of the equation through research among the detainees and their family members, as well as their lawyers and custodial officers. Today, we are joined by our fellows, Mr. Kenneth Guda, Ms. Amalia Cabusao, Father Richie Salgado, and of course, Ms. Eds de la Cruz and Rachel Malaguit. They're at the center of our reporting sa project pong ito, so we also look forward to hearing more from them about their experience reporting on jails. For the past 2 years also, we have been conducting focus group discussions to do a deep dive on these issues. So actually po, while this is the first time that we are meeting, actually nakita-kita na po tayo sa Zoom over the past 1.5 years po, because every time the PCIJ would release stories on our jails, we would do a focus group discussion. So kumbaga, we're also building on, this forum builds on the lessons that we've learned from our focus group discussions. So the next slides I will show you just, we're doing live art po during the focus group discussion. So as you can see here, and this is also posted on our website, yung aming pong artists are drawing or illustrating yung mga highlights and lessons from the FGDs. Next. And this one is by Luigi Almoena, who's also joining us. And he's actually also illustrating right now. So may live art rin po tayo. So we look forward to seeing his sketch or painting later. And this one is by cartoonist Zach. So for many of you, maaring nakita nyo na rin po ito. And this is also posted on our website. As mentioned earlier, nakasentro po yung strength rin po ng proyekto ng PCIJ sa aming reporting fellows. And apart of course from the journalists that I mentioned earlier, our work also builds on the portfolio and the work of reporters like A. Balagtas C., as well as our photojournalists like Rick Rocamora, Jire Carrion, Bernard Testa, Lisa David, and Gilson Chu. The lack of access to justice by those detained in these facilities present a most serious and urgent challenge for all of us, key stakeholders, to not just, of course, tell the story, but also help change it via positive and appropriate interventions. So in this forum po, our main goal is to help shine a light on and help encourage positive and prompt action by the concerned authorities on the conditions of our detainees in the country. PCIJ again is very grateful to Abaroli, our reporters who help us tell the stories of our persons deprived of liberty, and of course, everybody in the room for your participation in this forum, considering the expertise and experience that you would bring to the dialogue. We hope that this gathering can help bring the opportunity to exchange ideas, share best practices, and coordinate efforts. Maraming salamat po.